What is up, guys? I'm Get Flanked, and a couple weeks ago I made a video talking about how I felt that Jackal was the most underrated operator in the game. And I got a lot of positive response from you guys on that video, and a lot of you were asking if I could make another video like that but for a defender. Who do I think is the most underrated defender in the game? And after giving it some thought, I think the most underrated defender in the game is Mute. Now, I'm going to explain throughout the course of this video why I feel that Mute is so underrated, but I'm interested to hear from you guys as well. If you disagree with me, if you think that there's another defender out there that's more underrated than what Mute is, then let me know in the comments. I'll be reading through those, and I'll be interested to see what you guys have to say on that subject. So why do I think that Mute is underrated? I think the biggest thing that I want to say here is Mute's gadget, his jammers, are a counter to what is the most powerful piece of utility in the entire game, and that is the drone that the attackers have. And I think most people realize that. Obviously, most people realize that the jammers are a good counter to drones, but the jammers also counter the evil global abilities that are in this game. I wish that they had a bigger area of effect for this, but it is an effective counter to the Lion, to the Dokkaebi especially. And you can't overlook that. But I think the reason that he's underrated is that I think a lot of people don't get creative enough with his Mute jammers. In this first clip here, you're seeing me use Mute in the traditional sense. I'm using his jammers to keep drones out of the objective. And I think that a lot of people only think about using his jammers in this way. In the next two clips you're going to see in this video, you'll see me actually do an off-site hold with Mute in which I roam with him. And in the one clip, you're going to see me use his jammers actually off-site. And when you start thinking about using his jammers off-site, it opens up a whole nother world to Mute. If you think about yourself, as an attacker, if you drone out a roamer and you make a team effort to push that roamer, then you have one person droning, one person pushing, and that roamer's at a disadvantage. If you have a Mute jammer in the way of you and that roamer, if you're trying to push that roamer blind without the information from a drone, that's a completely different world. And I think that a lot of people don't look at Mute's jammers that way, as using them to block information and to protect roamers. So that's the first thing that I'll say on that subject, and we'll go into more detail later as far as using Mute jammers to protect a roam. The other thing that I'll say is that he recently got the addition of the SMG-11, which makes Mute a completely different operator. He can now run that shotgun SMG-11 combo like you've seen Smoke run for so long. And I think this really makes him versatile as well as far as, creating rotation holes. And it also changes the way that he can frag, if we're being completely honest, especially on console. Okay. And I think that Mute is probably the most underrated operator, period, on console for two reasons. I mentioned his Mute jammer and the fact that it counters drones. On consoles, drones are about 1,000 times stronger than they are on PC, just because it's harder to destroy them. And that's the honest truth. Because of the aim and everything, it's harder to destroy drones on console than it is on PC. So the Mute jammer can help you there. Also, with that aim, the fact that you can bring a shotgun, shotguns are stronger on console. And I really think that there's a lot of people who don't take advantage of shotguns enough on console. So the fact that Mute can now bring that shotgun while also having that SMG-11 as a secondary, on console, Mute is a force to be reckoned with and should be picked a lot more than he currently is. Now, this next clip you're going to see is actually a Mute ace, and the final clip is going to be the clip that I show me using his Mute jammers off-site in a roam, so make sure you stick around for that. But the reason I wanted to show this clip right now is because it demonstrates another underrated aspect of Mute, and that is the fact that he has access to a bulletproof camera. And there are several operators that have access to this, but the bulletproof camera in general is underrated in itself. I don't believe that people are utilizing this gadget nearly as much as they should. And I get it. When it comes to Mute, you have to choose between the nitro cell or the bulletproof camera, and it's always tough to give up that nitro cell. To pick the bulletproof camera over it is a tough decision. But on Fortress right here, you're going to see me set it up in a long line of sight, and you're going to see how powerful it can be. Now, this is the first time I actually utilize this, so I don't actually get a kill because of it, but next time, I probably will. I put this camera up in a long line of sight. You can see how much good information it gives me, and you can see that I should have gotten a kill with it. I was in position to do it. I wasn't ready, and next time I will be. So don't forget about that bulletproof camera on any operator that can bring it, but especially Mute. Mute is another one that can take advantage of this and really benefit from it. I think this clip also demonstrates the power of mute on a map that's new. You know, Fortress is the newest map in the game, and when people are playing a new map that they're not familiar with, their drones as an attacker are their lifeline, and it's what allows them to get information. As you learn a map, you learn where people commonly sit, you learn, you know, the common lines of sights and stuff like that, and, you know, the drones are obviously still important, but you can, you know, maybe pre-fire and get away without using the drones. On a map like this, the drones are so important. So keep that in mind when you're playing new maps, that if you can deny the attackers the information that they normally get from their drones by using a mute, then that's going to be even more powerful than it normally is. Now right here you're seeing how much information I'm getting from that bulletproof camera I set up, and you can see how much it's annoying them. I mean, Fuse right now, I'm not saying this is a smart decision on his part, but he hates it so much he's going to risk life and limb. And again, I should have gotten this kill, but I wasn't overly familiar with this to know exactly where they were and everything. I just couldn't take advantage of it. Again, next time I will, no doubt. Now, while this clip is finishing out, I do want to talk a little bit about weapon selection with mute. Yes, I did mention before that he has that SMG-11 and that the SMG-11 and shotgun combo is really good. But I also understand that there are a lot of people who get frustrated by the SMG-11. You just saw a clip right there where I lit up that Nomad, and I firmly believe that with most other weapons in the game, I probably would have killed that Nomad. But, you know, the SMG-11 can be frustrating. So if you don't feel comfortable running that SMG-11 shotgun combo, that's fair enough, and I understand it. Don't feel like you have to. You can run Mute's MP5. That's perfectly fine. And, you know, I ran Mute. I mean, he just recently got the SMG-11, and I've been running Mute for a long time with that MP5. I think that the MP5 is what I would consider a below average SMG, but it's probably going to be easier to use for the majority of players out there than that SMG-11 in, you know, medium to long range gunfights. So I understand if you want to stick with that, that's fine. Don't feel like you have to run this SMG-11 combo with Mute. The other thing I want to say about weapon selection is that the shotgun should be used more than it should. And I don't mean should be selected and in your inventory more than it should. I mean, you should have it out and using it to win gunfights more than what people do. You're seeing a great example of that in this clip of me choosing to have that shotgun out over the SMG-11, and I'm predicting close range gunfights. But right there, I mean, that's probably what, 10 meters right there or close to it. Now maybe that Ash was weak. I believe this is an Ash, but I one-shot her, and I'm guessing she was probably weak. But still, especially on console, that clip right there really shows how strong that shotgun can be, how strong the bulletproof camera can be, and how you can roam with Mute. I didn't have his Mute jammer set up in that room, but I was roaming with them all the same. Okay, the clip that's playing now is the offsite room with Mute, where I use his jammers offsite. It's on Hereford here, and I'm not saying to copy this setup exactly. This isn't even really a setup for me. This is me experimenting. This is me trying to find my way, and really the purpose of showing this is just to provoke thought with you guys and how to use these jammers off-site. Trust me, there's something here to this. I'm not saying to copy this setup exactly, but just think about how you can use Mute's jammers off-site to deny drones and to make the attackers really worried about these roamers. I'm going to let this clip play a little bit here, but pay attention to how I use 3 Mute jammers upstairs, and also pay attention to this first kill that I get on Dokkaebi and how the Mute jammer helps me in this kill.
Alright, we win these, sort of.
You have nothing between sites.
I have nothing. JD, do you have impact? Yeah. Alright, so it's gonna be different. Oh, she's in. She's rushing at the. She went up the stairs. She went up the stairs. Dokkaebi went up the stairs. The south stairs.
Twitch drone coming. Got it.
She might be rushing side.
I got Dokkaebi.
Did you notice how Dokkaebi made a phone call right there and you could hear my teammates' phones ringing, but because I was standing on that mute jammer right there at the corner, my phone didn't ring. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that was on purpose, that I planned that all along. It was kind of lucky that I happened to be right there when she made that phone call. But you see how those Dokkaebi mains, they rely on that phone call so much. She was pushing me. She knew I was up there. She got the static on her drone that you saw right there at the stairs. She was coming to get me. And because my phone didn't ring, I think that threw her off and allowed me to get that easy kill. And I think this really shows, how these mute jammers can be used off site. And I'm asking you guys to think outside the box when you're using mute jammers, and I think you'll see how strong and underrated he can be. Okay guys, that's it for my mute underrated video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something useful here. Definitely let me know what you're thinking down in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure that you like and subscribe, and I'll have more coming your way here soon.